Well, hey everybody, Dylan here, and welcome to another one of those clearing out the previous notes weeks. Let's take a trip back to February 2nd, 2024 for a Smackdown review. The show starts off with a shot of the Legacy Arena in Vermont where they're located tonight. Corey Graves runs down everything that's going to happen tonight, and we see the Bloodline arriving earlier and a recap of what happened at the Rumble. I think this was the first Smackdown after the Royal Rumble, if you need a time reference. After that, we see Cody come into the arena with apparently a debuting Pharaoh. This is the first time I have seen her on TV, so shout out. Then we see Damage Control arriving earlier today, and we get to the show where the Paul brothers starts us off, so automatically I'm saying boo. During this, we see who our future announced team for SmackDown is. I think this is the same week that Michael Cole went to Raw and they did a soft reset of the SmackDown teams. But this is where Corey Graves is apparently the leader on SmackDown and Wade Barrett's the other one. After running down the town, Logan Paul says that he underestimated his opponent, and even though Kevin Owens was tough, he still wasn't good enough to beat him. I'm not going to say what happened at the Rumble, because eventually I'll have a review of that Rumble, so no for the spoilers. He basically hypes up himself a little bit and says how great he is, until Kevin Owens comes out to cut him off. I like how the graphic states the facts about the stories now, so bonus points for that. After he talks about how great Birmingham is, he says that Saturday was a moral victory since he got to knock the hell out of the Paul brother. Since he has done this a couple of times, he wants to take the title off of him. Logan Paul tells him he had only one shot and that he took the Paul brothers' bait with the brass knuckles, so back of the line. Kevin Owens says that he will stop at nothing to win, but he got caught, and that was his mistake. But next time they get in the ring together, he's not going to get caught. Spoiler alert, he loses due to outside interference. Kevin Owens gets into the ring, and the Paul brother tries to say Owens smells bad, and then Owens said he took a bath in Prime is why. Once they got back on track, the Paul brother said that he already lost his one shot, so why doesn't he focus on something else, like his match with Austin Theory later on tonight? And during that time, the Paul brothers is going to talk smack about Kevin Owens on commentary. After that, Austin Theory comes out with Grayson Waller for apparently the match. So the match between Austin Theory with Grayson Waller and Kevin Owens with the Paul brother on commentary ends when Owens tries to use brass knuckles on Waller, and Theory, I think he also tried to get some after the Paul brother attempts to distract the ref so that way one of them can use the brass knuckles. After that, Kevin chases the Paul brother out of the arena. Then we see Rhea arriving earlier today. After that, we have a hype package for Naomi's return because she made her debut at the Rumble, or I guess re-debut. Then we see her officially signing with SmackDown as mentioned Shotzi and Bianca are cheering her on outside. Like she comes out of the GM's room and they're out there being like, woo, welcome to SmackDown. Immediately afterwards, Tiffy Stratton comes out of the office too with a contract saying that she's the center of the universe. And where is her contract? Everybody laughs at her, then she calls out Bianca saying that she's not afraid to step up to the baddest woman in WWE. Then she turns to Mention and slaps her. Everybody tries to go after her ass for that, but Nick Aldis stops it and Mention demands a match. So did I rate any of that yet? I don't think I have. So Paul Brothers segment and that match I'll give 3.5 overall. The Naomi full segment till the end, let's give also 3.5 stars. Why not? Pretty Deadly then comes out for a tag team fatal 4-way title qualifier match between them, the LWO, the Knockoff Familia, also known as what do they call themselves? I don't know. That's my running bit, always calling them the Knockoff Familia. But what's their actual name? Something del Fantasma. El Gato del Fantasma. There we go. I literally had to look at my floor. Shout out to my Elgato. And Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates, which is now known as New Catch Republic after the ad. Before that match happens, we go backstage where Bianca is talking to Adam Pearce. She asks when Bayley picks Rhea what she has to do to get a title match against Io at Mania. Nick Aldis says that Pearce and him have been talking and that he should have an update soon. The Paul brother then cuts off Bianca, demanding a title match, and that causes them to get in like a little back and forth segment real quick. Then we go backstage where El Gato del Fantasma are just talking about what Humberto is going to do. Oh, sorry. Where Humberto is just Berto now, and Elektra Lopez has come back to the team. And Garza says how important it is that they carry on their family's legacy. That's why they must kill Rey's LWO. They then cheers to that, and then they get right into the match. The match is the tag team qualifier, by the way. According to me, it's such a chaotic match, and I love that. I have zero memory of that. There's multiple spots where the heels work together, and the baby faces do too. There was a cool launcher spot, apparently. I don't know what I meant by that. I guess like a launcha outside. The match ultimately ends when Tyler Bates and Pete Dunne win over Pretty Deadly to challenge the winners on Raw. 4 stars. There, see, I got a rating. After that, we got a commentary where they transition to talking about the match that was scheduled for later on tonight. What is that match? I don't know. Dylan didn't write it down. After that, they recap Damage Control on Raw. We then go backstage where the champs are talking about taking out Bayley and the champs. I mean the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky. Then they leave. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. And then Bayley was sitting at the door, Batista style, and she comes into shot. And she gets like kind of like, about that. After we come back from the ad, they give a Philly hype package and tells us how many days Mania was away at that time. 67, by the way. They then recap what happened Monday to Cody. Then we go back to the ring where Mike Room welcomes out Bayley. When Damage Control Sans Dakota comes out with her, everybody's a couple steps behind Bayley, like ready to attack her or talking shit about her. She talks about how she's done everything at WrestleMania and that Damage Control is family, while she's saying that the other girls are laughing at her behind her back and still doing so when she turns around. She continues saying that in order to be the best, she has to fight the best, Rhea, or she could go a different route. Then she says sometimes you have to prove people wrong and ask if they're done laughing at her. She then goes to run them down for thinking that she's stupid. And why are they talking about her behind her back when she just wanted the best for Damage Control? They shouldn't. She then asks Io what happened, that since the Kabuki Warriors have came into the picture, she's been different. After that, they beat Bayley down, and Bayley goes over to the corner to grab a pipe and even the odds. She lays out the rest of Damage Control and almost swings at Io, but the Kabuki Warriors pull her out of harm's way. Bayley then says she'll see her at Mania. 4.5 stars. I love this babyface turn from Bayley. When we come back from the ad, they run down what just happened. Then they show a Mania graphic, and we go to 3v3 between the Final Testament against the Hurt Prophet, where the Final Testament against the Hurt Business, where the Hurt Business looks like $1 million, by the way. Oh, and the match doesn't start. They just beat the shit out of each other, and I think the match gets called off. Lashley gets the advantage on Cross until Scarlett interferes. When she does, I think B-Fab comes out. Corrected it to Bean. I apologize. B-Fab comes out and saves Lashley, officially joining the Hurt Business 2.0. We then go backstage where Braun is looking at a Breaker, by the way, is looking over a contract. Then Pierce comes in and interrupts a contract signing. Him and Nick Aldis get into it verbally until Jade comes in to talk, and he demands Pierce out of his office right at that moment. And then he talks to Jade. After that, we get a match between Tiffany Stratton and Minchin, where Tiffany hits the prettiest moonsault ever, I think that's what she calls it, to win. Then we see Cody walking backstage, where after the ad break and card rundown for next week, he comes out to announce who he is challenging at Mania. The bloodline comes out before he does. Cody chants start happening throughout the crowd, and Roman says he will get to him. But before this, happens, the city has to acknowledge him. He then says he hates to recap, but he has to talk about what Seth said. He then runs him down for getting injured and dressing in his wife's clothes, and, normal Roman stuff, and how he works way too hard. He then goes over to Cody and calls him an idiot for having morals. And then he tells Cody he has two choices: either be the best number 2 in this business or take a shot at number 1 again. This was during the time, I think this is literally, without spoiling it, I think this is the episode where things almost change for Cody's story. After that, Cody then comes out and asks for the mic that Roman just used. Paul gives it to him after the tribal chief tells him he could. Then he asks Alabama and Reigns what they want to talk about. He then asks Reigns to give him the ring, and just for him and Reigns to share the ring. Reigns tells the bloodline to go away, and that Cody said he wanted to talk to people about how Roman cheated him, and how this title is still the title that Bruno Sammartino held, and the one that his dad had the chance to hold. It was taken from his hands. He then explains that he needed to finish the story for that title, but not at WrestleMania. He then says one of the people he talked to knows Roman very well, and that cues The Rock coming out. So a little prelude real quick in case you didn't know. From this episode moving forward, their WrestleMania plans for about 4 days was Rock versus Roman to main event, and Cody was going to go against Seth. So in an alternate universe, WWE just dropped the ball so hard right there. But thankfully, The Rock was talked out of it, yada yada, sing sing. I haven't watched the WrestleMania behind the scenes documentary yet. When I do, I'll recommend it for you all, one way or another. All right. When The Rock comes out, him and Cody have a stare down. Then they do a handshake, and they talk privately for a second until Cody leaves the ring. The Rock then turns his attention to Reigns, and they do a stare down to end the show as they advertise the WrestleMania press event coming up. So, first of all, I think I've already said it. Definitely watch that WrestleMania press event. If I haven't said it, I'll say... Yeah, I said it Mondays. Sorry, I've already edited Mondays. But anyway, definitely watch that press event if you want to know the full context of the story. Because after this episode... So yeah, literally from this episode until that press event, it was going to be Rock versus Roman. But then at that press event, they changed it by the slap heard around the world, as I'm going to call it. This episode of Smackdown, I very much remember just for Bloodline segments. Anyway, that segment I will rank 3.5 stars. Not because it was bad. I'm so glad The Rock came back. I'm glad they corrected it. But at the time... they completely, and I mean completely, fucked the story up. Like, there's an alternative universe where Roman versus Rock went on instead of Cody, and we're still waiting for Cody to finish his story. I don't want to live in that universe. I'm glad Cody got to finish his story. This overall episode, I would give 4 stars. I almost gave 4.5 stars because it was a good episode. But that main event and them being so tone deaf made me just go like, yeah, no. We're going to lower that now. Alrighty, I'll see you Monday for another throwback during February episode of Monday Night Raw.